Am I the only one who feels like they haven't done enough this Ramadan? I feel like the first 20 days just flew by in a flash. Now we're in the last 10 nights. And although I'm going to make the most of these 10 nights, I'm already stressed about Ramadan ending and feeling the regret of having not done enough. So I've been reflecting today on how I can make the most of these 10 nights in a way that is not difficult. I want it to be easy, but I want to take the most reward. First thing on the list is to go to Taraweeh and pray with the Imam until the very end. Because if you pray with the Imam till the end, it's as if your entire night is spent in ibadah. So you guarantee Laylatul Qadr. The second thing is to just give a small amount of charity every single day, because again, you guarantee Laylatul Qadr, and for that night, it will be multiplied by so much. The third thing is to make extensive dua every single night. However, we often forget what we're meant to ask for. So I've made myself a list of du'as, and I did that by going back to my Umrah dua list, and I'm just going to read the same ones these last 10 nights. The fourth thing is to read more Quran, but I want it to be intentional and with the understanding and the meaning behind what I'm reciting. I know which surahs the Imam is going to be reading in the masjid for Taraweeh, and so before Taraweeh, go through the surahs that will be recited in the mosque. And so when I arrive, instead of having to open Tartil AI and hold it in my hand during prayer, I've already read everything. And so I listen in for the keywords, which makes me focus more during the salah, and I know what story he's talking about. It makes your connection with salah so much stronger and deeper, and it forces you to read the Quran, understand, reflect, and actually know the meaning behind what's being recited. The next thing is praying in congregation in the house. So my family, whenever we have iftar, we read Maghrib Salat together in Jama'ah. So it's a beautiful way to add more barakah into your house. In the last 10 nights, a lot of the masajid will have Qiyam al-Layl as well as Taraweeh. And so if you're working and you can't make it to Taraweeh early in the day, later on in the night you can make it to Qiyam al-Layl. And also Qiyam al-Layl is usually into the last third of the night, which is the Tahajjud prayer. And the dua of Tahajjud, as Imam Shafi'i said, is like an arrow that doesn't miss its target. For anybody who is studying or has exams, you have to remember that your intention is what makes the difference with all of your acts in these last 10 nights. So you might be studying a lot, thinking that you're missing out from the prayer and from the mosque. However, if your intention for your degree, your education and your work is for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then all of your studying is counted as a form of ibadah. Ultimately, the most important thing for us is to seek forgiveness in these last 10 nights. None of us are perfect, and so that should be the core of what you're trying to ask for, because if you're forgiven for everything, then it's like having a clean slate going on into the next stage of life. And so the dua of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Allahumma innaka afuwan tuhibbul afwa fa'fu anni. This should be on your tongue constantly during the last 10 nights. I highly recommend, even though you're watching this on social media, that you avoid social media and the distracting apps in the last 10 nights, and you put your focus on the mosque, on Quran, on dhikr, on making dua, on praying, on voluntary prayers,